So this is a more in-depth video about this topic. And again, it can be very triggering, but that is a really good thing because that means that there is some level of self-awareness. And we know that the first step to change is self-awareness. So let's talk about something that most people don't want to admit. Sometimes we don't go after the people who are good for us. We go after the ones who are a challenge, emotionally unavailable, already in a relationship, fresh out of one and not looking for anything serious, or the ones who breadcrumb, avoid commitment, or only show up when it benefits them. And still, we're magnetized. We know logically it won't work, but something pulls, something deeper than reason. Something that feels like this time, maybe if I just prove myself, it'll be different. But that pull, it's not chemistry. It is not destiny. It is your nervous system chasing an emotional resolution it never got. From a neurodevelopmental perspective, our earliest relationships create our internal blueprint for what love feels like. Not what it should look like, but what it feels like in the body. If your earliest emotional bonds were built around unpredictability, challenge, emotional distance, proving, conditional love, then your nervous system starts linking love with effort, with vigilance, with inconsistency. Your body learned love is something to chase. Something I have to earn, something that might leave at any moment unless I prove I'm worth staying for. And once that blueprint is encoded, it becomes the filter your brain uses to interpret future relationships. Even if your conscious mind says, I want someone stable, present, your body is still scanning the environment for the familiar signal of early dynamic. And here's where it gets even more precise. The brain's dopamine reward system isn't just activated by pleasure. It's activated most intensely by unpredictable reward. This is called intermittent reinforcement, and it's the most powerful form of behavioral conditioning. Okay, so let me give an example. Think about a slot machine. You don't win every single time. But that possibility that maybe this spin is the one keeps people addicted for hours. The same thing happens in emotional inconsistent relationships. They say something validating, then disappear. They open up a little bit, then pull back. They show affection, then remind you they aren't ready for anything serious. And your nervous system becomes addicted to the challenge because it starts to believe that winning the challenge equals worth. It is not love that you're chasing. It's relief, validation, proof that you were finally enough to change someone who never really showed up to begin with. Now, here's the paradox. When someone emotionally safe enters your life, someone who's actually consistent, emotionally available, grounded, it doesn't typically feel exciting. It feels suspicious, flat, maybe even boring. Why? Because their energy doesn't match your emotional blueprint. Your nervous system isn't calibrated for calm. It's calibrated for tension, for micro surges of cortisol and dopamine, for relational instability disguised as passion. So you push away what you say you want and cling to the dynamics that make you feel like yourself. Except it's not really yourself. It's your survival self. The version of you that learned love has to be earned through challenge. Now, from a metaphysical lens, this becomes even more revealing. Your electromagnetic field, generated by your nervous system and heart, is constantly sending out signals. Not just about what you want, but about what you're available for. If your inner signal says, I need to chase love to feel validated, then the quantum field brings you mirrors of that signal. It brings you people who activate the need to chase, people who withhold love, because the withholding matches the signal you're transmitting. You don't attract what you consciously desire. You attract what your system is calibrated for. This is why mindset work alone isn't enough. You can write affirmations, visualize, manifest. But if your nervous system doesn't recognize safe love as familiar, it will reject it. The body always chooses what it knows. This is why stepping into the unfamiliar is not just a choice. It is a practice, because when what's familiar is rooted in survival, safety will feel really foreign to you. We have to train the body to recognize calm as connection, not danger. So ask yourself, are they boring, or is your system just not used to nervous system regulation? Are they not exciting, or are they simply grounded and consistent? Are they too serious, or are they just emotionally available in a way your body doesn't yet know how to receive? The work isn't about chasing intensity. It's about learning to feel safe in what once felt unfamiliar. Here's the truth. This pattern doesn't mean something is wrong with you, okay? It means your system adapted beautifully to survive early emotional environments. But what kept you safe then is keeping you stuck now. And no one can interrupt this loop for you. Not the next partner, not more self-blame, not another situationship you hope will finally turn into more. It starts when you realize this addiction to challenge isn't romance. It's neurological, it's energetic, it's sometimes ancestral, and it's interruptible, but not through willpower. The real shift begins when you stop asking, how do I get them to love me? And start asking, why does love only feel real when I have to earn it? When you regulate your nervous system, you begin to decouple love from pain. You let the body know it doesn't need adrenaline to feel alive, that it doesn't need to chase in order to be chosen. That calm is not a threat, it's safety. And as your internal frequency recalibrates, your external reality responds. You stop being attracted to people who withhold because your system no longer finds them familiar. You start noticing people who feel warm, honest, and available because your body is finally available to receive. You don't need to chase another unavailable person to prove you're worthy. You need to create the internal conditions where love no longer has to feel like a challenge, but a resonance, a remembering, a return to something your nervous system forgot was possible. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about coming back to the version of you that didn't learn love through tension and letting your nervous system remember what it feels like to be safe inside of connection. And this is exactly what we work on inside my 4-week nervous system coaching container. So if you're interested, message me to join.